Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another SLR Tier 2 race, this time at Miami. And it's myself, Ocean Chief, with Tipsy Bob on comms. Hello, everybody.
Right. Yes, it is indeed a pleasure to be on the mic with Mr. Chief, my good man. And I didn't think I'd be back in Miami this soon. I had seen enough of it yesterday, but here we are. And we are in tier two for the mid tier aliens, is what I would call them. Some of the times these guys are posting have been incredible. And Chief, you want to just run down the standings, but before you do, I just want to say it's unfortunately we don't have Le Monsieur Matt here today because he was showing mega pace. But alas, we've got plenty of very capable reserves today. And Chief, you got the standings on?
I do indeed, yeah. So we've got Run Cruiser, who we've got on screen. At the top of the pops there, he's currently in the Haas, and Haas are leading constructors also. Our Gamer P2, and or sorry, not our Gamer, it's equals in the Aston Martin P2, and then our Gamer is P3. So it's starting to get spicy. We're getting to the tail end of the season. We're second half here. I think there's a few left after this, 3 or 4. So plenty of points still on the table, but Ron Cruiser has got a little bit of a lead there. At the top of the standings, and they are also leading. The Haas boys are also leading the constructors. So, yeah, if we get a good Haas performance today, that will further cement their lead in both the drivers and the constructors.
Yeah, you could really say, Chief, I'm just looking at the standings here. You could almost argue that it is still, what would you say, a four-way fight? I mean, definitely, I think Luke could still do it. It's maybe a bit of a far fetch for Smelto and Basco. They're a bit far off the pace in terms of their points. But I definitely think this is a four-way fight going into these next few races. As you mentioned, Chief, we've got, well, today is Miami. And then next week, I believe, is Spa, then Zandvoort, Austria, and then Abu Dhabi. I mean, there's what's 4 or 5 fantastic tracks coming up.
Yeah, some tasty tracks for sure. I love Spa, and Zandvoort's always a favourite with the drivers. But Bob, look who is on screen right now. It's Dice. He's the first one out on a hot lap. So let's ride on board with him and see how he does.
Yeah, okay, we're going to run on board. I was given a wee bit of strat advice, tell him all the stuff I've learned since the weekend. So we'll see if he can make use of it. I often feel some of these guys just kind of nod politely and then do their own thing anyway, but alas, that is their own prerogative.
What's that strat advice? Just don't die?
Just avoid the walls, basically. No, I was giving them kind of, kind of tire strats and possible outcomes and if there's safety cars and stuff, so giving them a wee bit of advice because I would like to see Dice do well. Dice, yeah.
Yeah, as much as I do give him some stick, I do want to see this guy do well. I know he has the pace, especially over one lap. He did look mighty untidy there for the chicane, but as long as he gets the time on the board, it'll give him something to aim for in his follow-up laps. But looking alright from Dice so far. It looks like he has the car under control, and he's about to cross the line and put the first time on the board. It's a 1:28.8, which is actually not bad.
Yeah, 28.8, okay, that's a banker lap. Definitely he can improve on that. He will need to improve significantly on that if he wants to even get anywhere near the top 10, I would imagine, in tier 2, because it's like, Vlad is really posting more like it. Those are the kind of times we'll be looking at. We actually got close to that in tier 3 as well, the 27 floors, but unfortunately no one was able to hit it. But Dice definitely a good wee banker for him, but 1.4 seconds off the pace at the moment, Chief.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of reserves in today. Tenari's about to cross the line. He is one of those reserves, and look at that. He goes straight to the top of the board. 26.9 already on his first run. Quite incredible. And there's Luke, GDI, goes P2 at 27.3. So yeah, I think if you want to be at the front end of the grid, obviously you're going to have to be in the 26s or very low 27s at least.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting like a really low 27 here to tier 2. Of course, Christian being here, I mean, I think anyone that has seen him race knows that he's really tier 1 kind of pace. But I think the level of tier 2 is so high that he can kind of slot in rightly. But yeah, I think Christian's going to be hard to beat just in terms of the full-time drivers. He'll be the hard one to beat here. Of course, Tunaman is a tier 1 driver. Chief, I see here Dan the man in chat here want me to tell him his strat. Like I can tell a tier 1 SLR champion anything. But will we discuss Strat, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, we can do. I'm just looking at our gamer at the minute. He is on a lap. He's coming down to, well, it's sector 3 is one corner. It's this one here. It's quite a heavy braking zone and tight hairpin. And then you want to get on the par as early as possible and just keep that back end under control. He crossed the line. It's a 128 flat, so not the fastest lap there from our gamer. Expected a bit more from him, but I'm sure he will go faster in his follow-up laps. But yeah, strat-wise, what do you reckon?
Well, so we've done quite a bit of running recently, Chief, as you know, in the practice sessions we've been doing, quite a lot of them. I generally test every possibility because I like to know what's going on. And we've seen yesterday Heat doing the medium soft. I did a medium soft, if you remember, Chief, in practice. It is doable. You just have to be really careful on the tires. However, I want to maybe caveat this. I think it's maybe more possible for the slower tiers, that'll be tier 3, to do these different strategies maybe more so than the faster ones. Like tier 1 probably couldn't do them because, well, everyone understands why. But I've done it medium soft. It can work. It's viable. However, hard soft is also a good shout. I know I'm going to give away some secrets here. I know Kiko did a hard soft in practice, and he actually really enjoyed it. But generally, as I was betting on yesterday, was I think starting on the hard tire is overall the best strat, because if you get an early safety car, then effectively you could run deep on the hards and then pit for your softs then. Or if you get a late safety car, like say lap 12, 13, something like that, you can then just pit early and stick the mediums on, and then those couple of laps behind the safety car will not really have any effect on your medium, so it'll be just like you never changed your strat. So that's my belief anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what I think.
from yesterday's race as well. I think it was Lepson who he pitted quite early. I think maybe off mediums, went onto the softs, and my crew chief was telling me his softs are going to die very soon, but they lasted a while, and I think it was only the last 2 laps then. So there is a cliff, but to get to that cliff, it can take a few laps. So they are definitely a viable option here, and we may see a few guys go for that gamble today.
Yeah, I mean, well, just to tell you, I pitted at the end of lap 17, I believe, and but excuse me, by the end of the race, just before I crossed the line, I checked my tire wear, and I was at 40. I think it was like 47 front lefts and like 50 or something on the right, something like that. So like it is like very difficult to drive the last few laps, but look, it is viable. Whether it's possible for the tier 1 guys, given their much quicker pace, it's much finite details between the two, or between the drivers, sorry, it might not be possible, but alas, we'll see.
We shall see, definitely. Let's have a look. I got laps in here on a warp. A lot of guys on out laps, no one on a lap just yet. Yeah, so I mean, it gives us a chance to talk about the reserves. We've got Lepson today is reserve. Skolin is not a reserve. I hope I said his name correctly, but he is a Finnish driver signed up this week to that Alpine seat. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. I think he has done a few races before as reserve, and unfortunately DNF both races, I believe.
Yeah.
Who else?
Sorry, I was going to say yes. It's Scolion or something like that, Chief, I think.
Yes, Skolin. Something like that. Finnish guy, so we expect him to be fast, but of course you do need to finish a race to get points.
Excuse the pun there, it's finished the race. Anyway, Scolion, Chief, if you want to run on board with him, he's just on his lap. He's approaching the end of sector 1. Funny enough, I mentioned, I think it was like final sector or something I struggled with, and it was Super Mac right enough did say to me, it's like sector 3 is like one corner.
Yeah.
And he was right, because I thought it was a much longer.
Yeah, you think that chicane's part of it, but no.
Yeah, Mac was right. But yeah, so Scolion here coming up onto the end of almost end of sector 2, is he? Yes, he is. No, he's not actually. See, I'm still doing it. I can see the map and I still can't get it right. We're going to run on board with him. I would like to do maybe a hot lap. Oh, Leps Chief has retired.
Oh dear, he's had an incident then, yeah. Oh, that's out of turn 3, I think. Just looking at the mini-map there, as Skolin invalidates his lap at the chicane. Aye. So, who was next up then? Dice is on a lap as well. Let's see if he's up in sector 1. This is a long left-hander. I think it's turn 5, or turn 6. Possibly turn 7. He is up 3 tenths almost on his lap time, so Big
Very nice.
gains.
I'm just on board with Christian. He started his lap. He's just navigating sector 1 here, Chief, as he's approaching this very fast sector. It's kind of a little bit of a lift. You want to attack these curbs as much as possible, but you don't want to ride them because it just sets your car off. This corner here that Christian's at, I think a lot of people really struggle with.
Yeah.
It is one of the trickier corners, Chief, to really nail. Some people break too much, some people don't, then overshoot it. But the DRS, if we could just run on board with Christian here, Chief. The DRS is active. It is very OP this section, breaking very late just after that white. He gets it nicely stopped, holds it in third, and this corner takes forever. The back end can just give up on you there. And roughly the black box. The hardest section in the game, or the track, I believe, is this section. I think if they could just make that a normal corner, it would be better. But Christian is up almost 2/10, Chief.
Oh.
And so this will put him, definitely pole. This will definitely give him pole if he can nail this final sector. So it's looking like Super Christian here is going to take the provisional pole off Mr. Tuna, as we have a yellow in the beginning of sector 1, but we're just going to stay on board here with Christian as he crosses the line, and he does indeed take pole, Chief, with a 26.
Nicely done. Yeah, and just while that was happening, Tenari in the background, I think he abandoned his lap, but Icewind up to P3. What a lap from Ice, 27 flat. Good stuff.
Well, I can tell you, Chief, and I'm not giving anything away because we're in the heat of battle right now, that Ice can go quite a bit faster than that. In fact, you know what? I'll say I was in a practice session with Super Mac and Ice did a mega quali lap, and typical Ice, he was getting angry at himself. It's like, what? How did I do that time? It was a crap lap, and he done an amazing, really low 26. So yeah, Ice has got pace in him.
Yeah, Gamer has put it into P6. Luke GDI has gone up to P4. Run Cruiser invalidated his lap. There's another, I think it was Vlad Red, also invalidating his lap, had to abandon that. So Run Cruiser, our championship leader, is currently in P7. And probably, I would say at this point, maybe you get, it's probably just going to be one run left.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get one more. 5.5 minutes. They're definitely going to get another bite at the cherry, as we say.
Yeah, Naiku is on a lap here. No, he isn't. He is, according to my delta time, 4 seconds off pace. Naiku is another reserve. He's from Tier 3. Did very well yesterday, I think P3. And at one point was last in that race.
Yeah.
So.
And just also to give... Sorry, Chief, I was just going to say, just to give people who don't follow them quite as often, as much as we do, they give an idea of the difference in pace. Naiku currently would be pretty much sitting currently in P9. His time would have been almost level with pole, I think, something like that.
Oh my word! Sorry, I just saw a girl coming around. He was about to enter the chicane part, and the back end got very loose there. I think you were just saying yourself, that long right-hander, and then once you come out of it, you want to get in the power as early as possible. But yeah, the back end, it gets so loose for that part, and Gerla has indeed abandoned his lap. Yeah,
I did struggle with that corner quite a lot in practice, but of course practice makes perfect. You figure out how to do it. And again, this is the benefit of whenever you practice with aliens. I was practicing with Super Mac. I was watching him, and I mean all the guys in Tier 1 do it anyway. Whenever they hug that wall, but then when they hug the wall, it's almost like a slingshot. They kind of naturally fling themselves over to the left. Like they don't hold it into the middle. They fling themselves to the left, as if you're aiming for the corner, like you're aiming for it, and try to straight line it. And that's how I was able to improve quite significantly in that sector. But you really have to attack that chicane section, Chief, if you really want to get a good time. Yeah. But that's the fine line you're working, because you really need to push it. But if you push it too much, you're either going to spin or invalidate.
Indeed, and Dice was just going through this section as you were saying it. He did attack the chicane, but he's massively down. According to the delta time here, he's 127 hitting the last corner, so imagine he's going to abandon this lap, get in and get a fresh set of boots on. Tilda as well, 27.9. He has shown some great pace in practice, but hasn't translated to the track, unfortunately. But hopefully today can right those wrongs.
Yeah, so Schooling out on his wee hot lap, he'll probably be the first across the line, I believe, and then Icewind, yep. But whilst we're waiting here, excuse me, whilst we're waiting here for the boys to get themselves ready for their ultimate lap where they're going to go hell for leather, want to give a shout out for Babs. If you're anyone is, I think is on Twitch. I think we're also streaming on Twitch as well. And you'll have Mr. Babalus, Mr. Comment. He's the Mr. Streamer recently this season. He's been streaming everything. He'll be keeping an eye on chat there. And then, of course, I'll be keeping an eye on the YouTube chat as well as co-comment with Mr. Chief. So anything you want to get off your chest, if you want to leave a comment, stick them in the live chat here on YouTube, and I will maybe read it out on air.
Yep, and a lot of big names in chat. McKenner, Danny, Meepo, well, I was going to say Lepson, but...
But you're missing it. Vito?
Oh yeah, Vito, yeah. Babalus, of course. Kitsune as well in the chat, as always. Skulin has started his lap here. He looked pretty tidy for the first few corners. Let's see how he does for the fast S's section here. Gets on the first curb nicely, rides the second one nicely, carrying a lot of speed through here. Again, hitting the third curb. Nicely carrying a lot of speed through here. Have to keep a tight line, misses the apex on the inside. A lot of cars having to be navigated here, but he is slightly up in his time. And it's done this long bendy straight. And there's a wheel, I don't know if you saw that, Bob, but there's a wheel on track just lying there.
It sounds like you said a wheel.
A wheel? Yeah,
yeah.
My wife always says that. I say wheel instead of wheel. And tile.
Yeah, I would say tile, but Speedy, if you all remember him, the super fast Speedy, he takes the mickey out of how I say the word film. Because everyone says film or film, but I say film. Anyway.
Let's go to ice. Yeah, I'm moving to ice here because Schooling just, yeah, he invalidated his lap time. Icewind is on a lap here. He's in sector 2. And just saw that wheel again. That wheel.
Ice is up, Chief. I was watching him through the whole start of this lap, and he was up 2/10, which is at the moment, if he can finish it, pole for the moment. But we're going to just hang on with him, Chief, here as he does drop the second. I was taking this in third, but then I saw Kiko and the boys. Oh, wee bit twitchy there. I seen Kiko and the boys taking that in. Oh, he's up 3/10.
Let's go, Ice. Let's go. No bias here.
This is what I was saying. Ice has got a hell of a lot of pace still left in the tank. And he is throwing down here in Miami, and we're going to see how he navigates his final corner. He usually drops down to second. Yes, Chief is one of the few, or Ice is one of the few people that drops to second I've seen to get on that, get the car turned. Here we go. He's going to get the DRS open, crosses the line, and this will be pole at the moment. 26.6. Wow.
3/10. Yeah, let's see what Christian can do in response. He just came for the final corner. I'm not sure if he's up on his. Is he up on his time? Oh, this could be tight. 1:26.5. He goes pole by 1/10. Oh, my word.
Chief, Tuna Man is up over just over 3/10 as well. This is going to be such a tight quality session for these guys. One of these guys is going to just nick the pole. Here comes Tuna Man, crosses the line, and he does. Boom! Oh, he doesn't do it. He must have, yes, he's lost quite a good bit of time there on that final corner. Luke is up by 1/10. He's going to improve slightly, but he's going to stay at P4. What about Vlad? What's Vlad going to do? How's Vlad? I don't see his sector times at all. So let's see what Vlad does.
Slightly up, according to mine. Oh, my word. That's quite an improvement, actually. Our gamer also on a lap here. I think Gerla, yeah, we've only got 3 cars left in the running in this session. What has our gamer got to do here? We know he's got pace. We've seen it in practice plenty of times, but can you actually match your times that you're doing in practice in a quality session? Gets a bit of a twitch on the exit. Might cost him a bit of time on the run down, and it's a 27.1, so P6 for him. Oof. What a quality session though, but great performance there from Icewind.
Yeah, so I was just reading the chat there. Kitty's letting me know she's off to the shops to get some birthday card. But yeah, was watching our gamer's lap there. He was doing good. He just a little bit twitchy in that final corner. That is a tricky corner. But I think he ran a little bit too much in that curb. I think that might have sucked off some of that time. Excuse me for saying that phrase, sucked off. I didn't.
Never say that again, please.
Yeah, sorry. But anyway, Christian does indeed look at the gap, Chief, between Ice and Christian, and even
Yeah,
Tuna Man.
this is going to get very interesting. I wonder what strats guys are thinking of, but it's a complete Scandinavian front row. We've got Christian from Denmark, I believe, and Iceland from Finland with his fellow countryman behind him, Tonari.
Are you going to take the race start for a change, Chief?
No, I'm not. I'm terrible at
Oh,
wrist starts.
so am I. I just get like around turn one, and then that's it. I kind of trip over myself.
No, you're good. You're good. I think Joel's the best if he's awake
Yeah.
and got some energy in him. He's one of the best at the wrist starts, but unfortunately he's not here today. So, Bob, we're gonna rely on your golden tones.
Going to depend on me. All right. Well, I'll try I'll do my best. I always loved commentating with Timo because back in the day when we used to do the EGL, because that was really good. We kind of bounced off each other. I let Timo do all his high pitch stuff
Yeah.
and all his squealing, and then I would just try and bring him back down. Yeah, we're just waiting here. It says waiting for players, waiting for everyone to load in. They're all sorting out their strats. The countdown. Let's see what they're going to do, Chief. There's going to be some guys on mediums. There's going to be some guys on the hards. Be very surprised if anyone starts in softs. But here we go.
Yep.
You might hear my ego go bark in the background.
Let's go. Lights are up.
So the lights are up. And Christian, when the lights go off, and the lights are going to go off, and there we go. They're off now. And Christian leads us away here in Miami. And everyone seems to be getting off pretty nice run. Oh, there's a crash in the back already. Oh, who was that? That was some blue
Lipton.
car.
I think
hopefully
Lipton
that
was
wasn't.
involved. And Dice as well, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and so I remember whenever I was starting this race yesterday, the first lap on the hards is really, really slippy. So everyone's jostling for position here, coming around this tricky section. I have sector 1 on the curbs. A lot of positions can be gained on this first lap. But so far, so good. Who is that of the Haas? Our Gamer. No, it's not his Ruin Cruiser. Is it? No, it was Our Gamer. Who was that? It was Haas. Sorry, it was Ruin Cruiser doing a lovely move there on Our Gamer to get himself up.
Yeah, and Luke GDA side by side with Our Gamer. So Our Gamer's under attack early, and we see this yesterday. A lot of guys using a lot of ERS in the initial laps of the race just to get some move done. But it may cost them later in the race, as Our Gamer and Luke are still side by side in the stadium section. Bit of a contact there with the wheel banging, but Our Gamer falls in front of Luke GDI, and Our Gamer, he's feeling the pressure here from behind and goes wide for the chicane, but manages to stay ahead and secure that P6 for now.
Yeah, I'm just watching further back here too. I see that Dice, he must have been taking my advice, not deploying everything in the first lap. Conserve it, he's doing a good job. Well, we've got Gracias, Josh. So I got you, Josh, going for the move on Dice. It's an easy move there for P15, and he's used half a battery already on lap 1.
Wow. Yeah, we saw that yesterday, and we had a lot of guys using a lot early, and yeah,
Dice in the pits, Chief.
Dice in the pits, okay.
Oh, no!
Is he going to retire? There's some great racing going on here up front, though. Tonari and Vlad Red were going through the final corner. I think Vlad Red used a lot of ERS to get the move done, but Tonari has got that back off him pretty quickly. And just getting back to the start as well, Iceland did have a big moment going into turn 1. Cost him a bit of time, but he's back on the back. He's back on the back of Christian. Yeah, but what's happening here with Vlad Red and Run Cruiser?
Yeah, as I just seen that, I was watching that. Vlad our Ruin Cruiser got a fantastic run on him and overtook him before the exit on the exit of this corner. And here comes Vlad. He's going to try to go around the outside. It is doable. It is doable, but you need a complying driver. But now you see Vlad. Oh, he does get it. Was he off track a little bit there? So he does have to concede this. This is going to have something's going to have to give here. You can't go two side by side into the chicane, and Vlad does wisely back out of that to live another day, Chief.
I'd like to correct you there. You can go side by side for the chicane, but it's very slow. I would not recommend it.
Yeah, it's not the optimal way to race. But Vlad has used almost just over half a battery on lap 2. Oh, a little bit of contact. Oh, he did contact with the Ruin Cruiser, and he almost spins Ruin Cruiser. Ruin Cruiser almost out of battery on lap 2. This is okay. Remain calm.
Yeah, you don't
it
like
is so hard.
Yeah.
It is so difficult to regen your battery on this track that if these guys that are deploying everything in the first laps are going to get swamped by the guys that are racing smarter.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a chain reaction, because if someone's using a lot of ERS, you find that you have to defend with a lot of ERS, so you know it can cause a lot of drivers to use a lot of ERS in the initial laps when they some of them don't want to, but are kind of forced to do so to protect their position. But let's see, Icewind has 70%, Christian 54%, and I just want to point out, Meepo with a really solid fact in chat. He said Tier 1 top 3 in this race at the start there.
Yeah, but I mean, we did say whenever Christian moved down, we did say that, yep, good luck to everyone in Tier 2 because he does have Tier 1 pace. But alas, some of these tracks recently, these guys in Tier 2 have been posting like pretty competitive Tier 1 time. So I think it's all fair in game.
Yeah, Pablo's asking how many safety cars. We didn't see any in Tier 3. We were expecting a few. There were a few incidents that probably should have triggered a safety car, but we didn't get them. So I don't know. Maybe this track you don't get many safety cars, but with 17 cars on track today, so I'm sure it's going to test that theory out.
I also know to see Tuna Man here, he's been deploying quite a lot of battery. It's not like him to do that, but I think that he's most likely doing that to try and stay in the DRS, because the DRS is quite OP here, and he's trying to stay in the DRS of Icewind because that will help him later in the race. He'll be able to conserve his battery. Those tires will last longer, not much longer. I have found, Chief, that the hards and the mediums were quite similar in terms of their pace.
Yeah, and also like after a few laps, their delta difference isn't that much. So yeah, Tenari probably doing the right thing there to use a bit of ERS to keep up with these guys, because the tires will start coming to him, and you'll find it a lot easier to keep up. But I tell you what, these top 3 are starting to break away from the guys behind. Already over 1 second is the gap from P3 to P4.
Yeah, Lepson just passed Dice there on the start-finish line on the DRS. Dice, really twitchy here. Dice really struggling on the traction. Going to keep an eye on Dice now. He should be deploying now, good man, to keep in this DRS. What's happening further up? Chief Rune Cruiser's quite close to this. Luke is having good watching brief here of Rune Cruiser and Vlad Red. They've been battling out for 4 laps here, almost coming to blows with that move that Vlad tried on Rune Cruiser in the final corner. Here we go. Rune Cruiser has got the DRS activated. He's deploying pretty much everything he's got. And he gets that move off Vlad. But of course, Vlad's going to have the DRS on him the next time around. Oh, Scullion, Chief. Scullion is really close. Ooh, that was a very, very touch and go there. Scullion got really tight there to girl his gearbox. And he'll have the DRS and he'll squeeze up a little bit closer now again. And so basically, it's basically they follow along until we get to the next DRS section. But I'm going to keep a wee eye on watching brief what's happening here. Yep, Smelto gets past Luke on the main straight, but Luke wisely lifts off there. Otherwise, he would have run into the curb. So good job. Luke will get him, I would imagine, on the DRS straight. But Chief, we're going to move up to this front battle because Icewind has DRS and he's now starting to deploy. Here we go. We're going to see maybe a switcheroo here on the race leader. Oh no! Looks like Ice bumped the car there. Yeah, Ice did just tap the rear end off Christian there. Ice didn't really have much place to go there.
It's a very tricky place to pass, isn't it? Because it is a straight, but it's very bendy. So, you go for the gap on the left, but the track might just shut you off there. So it is, you can't be a bit hesitant there. But Icewind definitely has pace here, and he's got a lot of ERS. It's looking very good for Icewind. I think they just cursed him, didn't they?
No, I don't think so. I think Ice is just playing this smart. As we see with as people does say, 3 tier 1, basically tier 1 pace guys at the front here, managing it well, managing their pace. They know what they're doing. Ice has got this pace in the bag. Christian is deploying a little bit more battery, obviously. He has to. But it's only a matter of time. As I said, that Ice nearly lost it on the brakes.
Yeah, that was similar to the lap 1 run down to turn 1. He had a bit of a twitch as well, cost him a bit of time. But Run Cruiser now within DRS range of these lead packs. So we've got a DRS train all the way down to P9. And you know yourself, Bob, this DRS effect at this track is huge. You can gain massive amounts of time, and it's very hard to break away from the guys behind.
It is indeed. It's like they can just follow behind you the whole track, and then you can't really get away from them in the other twisty sections because they're so slow that you can't really get any real advantage on them, really.
Yeah, and we're going to see this. Icewind is past Christian here, but as you'll see on the next straight, which is coming up after the chicane, yeah, Icewind is going to find it hard to break away, and we may see another switchback from Christian to get that position back. Oh, he's had a bit of a bad exit out of the chicane there. Icewind has 6/10. Skolin has... Oh, we've got a safety car. We have a safety car, yep.
There we go. Now this is what I was hoping for yesterday, so I'm interested to see what Dykes does now. And realistically, what he should be doing, I believe, but I could be wrong, is staying out on these hards. 6 laps is too early to pit for mediums. They'll never last. He'll have to pit again. So he might as well just stay out.
Yeah, although he does have a 5-second speeding penalty, which he could serve in the pits and just get it out of the way. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's going to be a hard one because he can't really go. He can't go to hards, which would get him to the end of the race, possibly. But I don't know if mediums are going to go to the end from here.
We have an interesting comment in chat from Babulus telling me to be more passionate. Hey?
Wow, you're getting a hard time, man. Icewind pitted. Tenari didn't. Run Cruiser. There's a bunch of guys stayed out. So they're rolling the dice here big time. So Icewind in a solid spot here. He's on hards now, which should take him to the end of the race. Safety car will probably be in around a lap 9 or 10. So that'll be roughly 20 laps on these hards. Won't feel the best at the end of their stint. But yeah, Christian and Icewind both pitting. Tenari staying out, so Tenari takes the lead of this race on those old hards.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Staying out on the hards was the only choice, really. But strangely enough, Dice comes in for mediums, so they're gonna have to pit again for those mediums. They will not last to the end of the race. So yeah, he's gonna have to go for another medium or most likely soft. But who knows? There could be another safety car change.
There could indeed, yeah. It can change everything. Just when you think you're out of the race. I was talking the other day. Do you remember that race where? I think it was Singapore, you were a lap down, safety car comes out, you unlap yourself, another safety car, you're up to P4 at the end of the race.
Yes, that's right.
Incredible scenes.
Yeah. I do like those kind of twisty sections, or those twisty tracks.
But Dice did indeed pit. He has now served his penalty. He's on these fresh mediums, but as you say, they're not going to get to the end, so he'll be praying for another safety car at some point. And Lapson as well brought back into this race, but we're down to 16 drivers. Skolin actually DNF'd at the chicane, so I don't know if there was a bit of argy-bargy, but it was on the the entry to the chicane. He was just in the wall.
So it'll be interesting to see how this safety car plays out because. You know, Tunaman's got those 7-lap-old mediums or hards, but then of course so does Ruin Cruiser on the mediums, the guys behind him. Pretty equal. As I said before, I find them pretty equal, the tires. I just, as you say often say yourself, Chief, you know, safety cars breed safety cars. So I don't know, man. It's these early runners on the hards. It's like they will not lap. They might, but they will be so undrivable by the end of this race. Like they're bound to lose a wing. So how are they going to play this? I don't know. That's a tricky one. Lap 6, a safety car coming out is a really tricky call, I think, because if you're on the hards, well, you'll want to stay out, but everyone's going to be pitting. If everyone pits before you, they're going to jump you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're on the mediums, it's a good chance to get off the mediums to stick the hards on, but then they won't last. So yeah.
And there's another mystery just happened there. Grazi Joes did pit. He got rid of a 5-second penalty, but he put on old mediums. He's on 6-lap mediums.
Well, you see, I suppose he couldn't put the hards back on again, could he not?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
Well, Grazi Joes should catch up. The safety car might be in the end of this lap, but I think it's more likely the end of the next lap. Unless he catches up pretty soon, though. It's probably going to be the next lap. Because he's just really lifting off big time here. He must want another lap behind the safety car.
And I think that suits these fresh hard runners a bit better, doesn't it? Because one more lap on the safety car, so they can take care of those tires. And yeah, it's going to be around about 20 laps of racing after this.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, 20 laps, yeah. Well, look, I seen Kiko. He ran the hards 19 laps before he switched to the softs. I'm giving out big time intel here for these. Oh, hang on. Ratty Josh is coming to the pits again. Hey!
That makes sense. Actually does make sense. Oh, he hits the wall. That doesn't make sense. Hopefully he doesn't have to change the front wing as well while he's in here, because he might not catch up with these guys. But yeah, I think he's going to come in and put on those hards again. So I think what's happened, he pitted, he got a speeding penalty, put on hards, then he had to pit again to get rid of the speeding penalty, put on his old mediums, and he's put on new mediums now? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gone. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I give up trying to guess this.
Sammy.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I was just going to say, saying a free win for Tuna Man. Possibly. Possibly, but we'll see what happens. I mean, Tuna Man can definitely run these quite long now, and I would say stick on the softs if he wants. He will probably, well, he will definitely start dropping down on pace, but the softs, you can gain so much time on the softs in this track. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that safety car would have been perfect if anybody did start on the softs, but I don't think anybody did they?
No one started on the softs, and you're right, Chief, that would have been just prime soft running. But yeah, Grassy Joss is going to catch up the back of this field. Very, 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 very slowly.
Yeah, looks like he's warming up the tires a little bit, riding the brakes maybe?
No, he's not on. Yeah, he's just going slow. So. There we go, safety car in this lap, so we're going to get game on shortly.
Yeah, Tenari, before the race, came into VC and said there's no way I'll win this race. He doesn't feel like he's up to winning the race today, but he's leading currently, so...
Tuna Man can do it. But I mean, I believe him. If he says that, that's how he feels. I mean, I know if I say that, people say I'm sandbagging, which is ridiculous, but alas, it is what it is. We're going to get underway. He'll probably go early. Boom, and he does. As soon as I say that, he hits the throttle and off we go, Chief. He is flooring it, and he caught Boone a little bit napping. He's almost 6/10 on him already. But of course, those hards will be slow. They will be cold. Well, pretty cold. Oh, yep, we bit twitchy there for Tuna Man. And Rune Cruiser, if these guys want to get a move done, they need to get a move on, because these mediums will rapidly be disintegrating as we're getting near the... Basically, the prime pit stop for these, I think, is around lap 14, so we're not far off that now, Chief.
Yeah, and I'm keeping a keen eye on Christian and Icewind, because they were leading the race previously. They're the highest guys with the freshest tires, P5, P6, but they get held up through the S's there. JC had a bit of a moment, and Icewind, yeah, he had to back off a little bit, pushed him back into Christian, but is he going to go for this move? It's going to be a pretty brave one, and it is indeed. He pulls it off. The door was left open, and he said, "Thank you very much, I'll take that." Which means Christian is now behind JC, and who is that? That's Christian and JC.
Yeah, they're trying to go side by side in the chicane.
I think JC hit the wall there as well on the exit. Oh, and they're going to come under pressure here from the Ferrari of Luke GDI.
Luke's definitely having a go at this. He's certainly going to get past Jay. He won't make it past Christian unless he's very late in the brakes, but it's a very tricky place to pass because you have to naturally cut across. So Luke does indeed get the corner. Oh, and Jesse's losing out to Nike as well. Oh, yeah, he's really struggling here. And he's dropping like a stone here, is Jesse. He's just, look at that. Goes to show you the nature of this track. But what I would say, Chief, just quickly on that, is I've raced Jesse. He is quick, but he usually runs a very low wing, so he's usually pretty quick on the straights, but struggles in these middle sector of these corners.
Yeah, and he's coming under a lot of pressure. He might have a bit of damage as well. He did hit the wall coming out of the chicane, but I tell you what, Icewind up to P3 while that was all happening. He made his way past Vlad Red and is already outside the DRS range, so this has worked out perfectly for him. He's on the best tire, and he's in the best position.
Luke's having a go here, Chief, on Christian. Christian doesn't have an awful lot of battery to fight this. Well, he does have enough, but he'll be out. As we get a change up for P1, Chief, Road Cruiser makes the move on Tuna Man. They get that P1 in the chicane. What's happening further back? Oh, Christian does get overtaken by Luke. Of course, we've seen that on the main straight. But look at this action here, and it's so hard to follow it all, Chief. There's so much happening.
Yep. Icewind had to take a really wide line into that. Oh, and that looks like Tanari's just letting Icewind pass. He's not fighting it, and it probably makes a lot of sense not to do that. Also, they are both finished. That might have something to do with that. But yeah, Icewind up to P2 and now on the back of Run Cruiser on these old mediums. So I reckon this will be pretty done pretty quickly. The quicker he can get it done, the better it is for him, as Christian has to make his way through a bunch of drivers, and he's losing sight of Icewind.
Sorry, Chief. Chief, Luke got really late in the brakes, and he was nip and tuck from taking out Vlad, but he's going for the move here on Vlad. This is going to be quite a move, and there's going to have to be an awful lot of trust between both these drivers. Vlad does indeed back out of that one. He's going to get the DRS anyway, but he doesn't have much battery to fight this Vlad, so yeah, he's going to get taken over by Christian as well.
Nicely done from Christian. Went up the inside there, took a really tight line, and was able to get that in. So Vlad Red struggling on these old mediums, and you can see the pace difference between these relatively new hards and these old mediums. As Icewind is up to P1, he has got the move done before the corner, and this is just working out perfectly for Icewind.
Whoa! Luke spun. Luke, something happened to Luke. Luke is spun at the chicane and he drops like a stone. Excuse me. But our gamer was fighting Naiku, and Naiku managed to get past, I believe, Christian and our gamer. So a great reserve session from him. He's a tier 3 driver, currently up at the P5, Chief.
Brilliant stuff from Naiku, yeah. Christian gets passed by our gamer. Christian slowing down the car massively here. What is going on?
I'm not sure. Has he got major damage?
I don't know, but it looked like he slowed down massively on the straight.
Yeah, he lifted his throttle. Smelter was getting past. Is Christian coming in? No, he's fighting this. I don't understand that.
I'm wondering if that incident with Luke GDI gave him a legal overtake. Maybe that's what's happened, because he did slow down significantly there until Luke passed, and now he's getting back up to speed.
Yeah. But further up, Chief, Naiku and who's this? Naiku and Vlad Red. Naiku, or was that Vlad Red? Yeah, Naiku and Vlad Red are getting very close. Naiku's really squeezing up on the back end.
Oh my god! Sorry, I just saw JC and Christian going wheel to wheel there, and there was some contact. Surprised JC was able to hold that on track, but JC is not having a good time out there. He's getting past left, right, and centre. Lepson squeezes past him as well, as does Gurla. Oh my word! I've got Tanari as well, dropping a few positions here.
Yeah, Vlad and Naiku just sent it straight past. Oh, Tuna, as Vlad runs really deep, and that lets Naiku squeeze up around the outside of the whatever corner that is, and he does get the position. So Naiku's showing mega pace here in Tier 2 today. Really impressed to see him. We'll ship him out, Chief, from Tier 3, move him up, get that competition out.
Yeah, what have we done, Bob? What have we done? We've created a monster.
And just quickly, while we have a wee breather here, Sam does mention about Luke and Christian probably had contact and returning the position. I believe that is the case, as Vlad does get past Naiku, but Naiku does bump into the rear end of him. I think that might have been the second time that's happened, so he may have a case here for these little shunts, but Vlad is coming into the pits to get rid of these mediums, Chief, and we will expect to see Ruin in soon.
Yeah, so these medium runners, yeah, they're obviously feeling the pain of those old medium tires, losing their life, losing their performance, losing their grip, and they need all the grip they can get right now. As you can see Icewind just stretching his legs out front. He's got a 2.3 second lead over Run Cruiser on those old mediums, and Run Cruiser still has to pit again, so effectively Naikai is P2 right now, with our gamer in P3.
This is a fantastic showing from him. I see Gurla here. Gurla is right on the gearbox of JC as well. And both have pretty much similar battery. Of course, the difference will be this DRS. So this should be a pretty straightforward move from Gurla. Yep, there we go. Ooh, bit twitchy here. Jesse, as you said, Chief, is losing out terribly here to this race. He's not enjoying this one at all.
Yeah, I do suspect he has a bit of damage on the front wing of that car, but unfortunately I can't see any visible damage, so we won't know for sure until after the race. But yeah, JC down to P11 now, out of the points, but look up in P6, got our man Tier 3 Tilda is P6 and will pick up a few positions once we've got two guys ahead looking like they may still have to pit again.
Yeah, the tier 3 guys are doing a great job, Chief. Really impressed with them. But of course, we're going to start to see these tire differences start to play out now as Ruin Cruiser does come into the pit to get off those, as well as who's that? Tuna Man's in to get off his hards. So it's quite early, but the other thing is pretty good enough. Tuna should be going on to the mediums. And that does. Oh, hang on, we missed that. How did our game get past Naiku?
Oh my word! How did that happen? Indeed.
I didn't see that one. That was must have been Nike must have got a moment, as they say. And yeah, but who's got the DRS? Smelto will be the first one we'll probably see here make a move on Tilda. Tilda pretty quick in a straight line. He likes to run a slightly different setup than most people, but it's no match to this OP DRS. Tilda does make his move quite clear. Moves over to the right. Smelto that's pretty straightforward overtake on the DRS. Good job. But of course, Tilda will be able to come back at him, Chief, with this second DRS on the back straight.
Yeah, it just has to follow him through this chicane section nice and closely. Oh, and Tilda not getting the best entry into the chicane there, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. Yeah, he's 8/10 behind as they come out of the chicane section onto the stairs. And Luke GDI actually came out of nowhere there, I didn't even see him. Up to P5, so Tilda falling down the order a little bit here. And he's got another fast driver behind. Christian is on these 8-lap old hards, P7. Oh,
yeah, I'm just keeping away.
And who's this? It's Luke GDI and Smelto going side by side here across the start-finish line. Looks like he has that move all sewn up. He's up to P4.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, Chief, I'm keeping a wee watching brief here on three drivers way down in the grid, but they're not normally there, and they will start pushing their way up. Ruin, Tuna, and Vlad all got quite an intense battle going on here. Something's going to give eventually with these different tire strats. I'll keep a wee eye on that. As Christian, Chief, is look how close, and he's going for the move on Tilda. A pretty straightforward. Well, I say straightforward. He made it look straightforward. Of course, he wanted to get that position done because he's got this pace now on Smelto. And he'll just jump straight past Smelto. Oh, Smelto, don't squeeze it. Oh, good job. He manages to leave enough room, and Christian gets two places in the space of one section, Chief.
Tilda looked like he was going to go for a move there on Smelto as well, but didn't have enough speed to do so. And Smelto and Christian going side by side here. This is going to be dangerous. Oh, and Christian just leaving just about enough room and fouls in front of Smelto. So Christian taking that P5 for now. So he's damage limitation. Christian has recovered nicely from that earlier incident and got himself up to P5, but really it's up front. Icewind is controlling this race. I believe our gamer has closed up a little bit, but we're in lap 16, so we are getting to the tail end of this race. Lap 17 now as Icewind crosses the line, and we'll just keep an eye on that gap because we know our gamer, he can come on very strong at the end of a race, but these front two are pulling away massively from Nikau. 2.6 is now the gap.
Yeah, and Tunaman did indeed get past Ruin Cruiser. I'm also keeping watching a wee eye here on Lepson and Luke. These two guys, get a yellow. It's someone who's that dice sponsor. I'm keeping a wee eye on Luke and Lepson. Both of them have Luke has 10% battery, Leps 20. These guys are going to get swamped soon with these guys at the back, and they will have nothing to fight with at all. So yeah, but Ruin Cruiser and Vlad, and Vlad's dropping off a little bit, Chief, here from Ruin Cruiser, but he's still got the DRS. As Tunaman now has Grazzi Joss, that's going to hold him up miserably here. He's going to have to get this past really quickly. He will have the DRS, Chief, so that's the good thing. He's going to be able to not get swamped by these guys behind, but he's getting held up massively, and Ruin Cruiser's now got a fantastic run. And what's going to happen here? Is it going to go 3 wide down to, we're going 3 wide, possibly 4. No, there's a bit of contact. Ruin Cruiser does manage to get in front. Tunaman also navigates Grazzi Joss, but Grazzi Joss fighting there when he really shouldn't. And he gets bumped by Vlad Red as well. Fighting when you don't need to fight. We got a VSC, Chief, VSC.
Okay, that's probably Vlad Red, Tenari, and those guys battling hard there. They're gonna like that VSC. It can just give you a little bit of a breather from all the intensity of the battling that's going on. Icewind as well will probably be happy with this VSC, although Yeah, that gap up the front, 4.4. Nikai in the pits. What's that about?
I am not sure. Did he get a wee bit of damage? Maybe he's gambling. It's a VSC. It's like almost like a free pit stop.
Yep.
Is he going to stick the soft? You can stick the softs on. You can stick the softs on, guys, from here. They will last. So there we go. The softs are going on. This is a massive game changer, Chief, for these soft runners if they can make it work.
Yeah,
I
8
know
drivers.
know this from. Sorry, Chief. Go ahead.
I was just going to say 8 drivers. It looks like they're all in the pits. Not all of them putting on those soft tires, which is kind of interesting. I would definitely would have won for a soft tire if I was pitting at this point in the race. But yeah, even Smelto putting on hards at this point in the race.
Yeah, look, I was going to say I can definitely tell you I've done it about 3 times. These softs, if they can really keep out of trouble and really nail these laps, they are really fast at this stage of the race, especially when the guys in front are on kind of worn hards, worn mediums. You should see these gaps closing very quickly. As if who's that? Is that Dice again? Yep, Dice. Struggling here big time on throttle. He's full throttle when he shouldn't be.
He's no front wing as well. I think he's just given up at this point. A 5-second speed penalty. We're probably going to see a retirement here. He does have a perfect run of DNFs, so I imagine this one's not going to be any different at this point.
Can we give him a count time? Will he do it? He's staying out, so good luck to him. Fair play.
He's about to get lapped though, it looks like. Yep, Iceman about to cross the line here. That VSC did cost Iceman a little bit of time, almost a second. Zargamer has closed up a little bit, and Tenari gets past Road Cruiser. Yep.
Yeah, Tunaman got past Road Cruiser pretty well. It was a good move, but he had so much overspeed. But of course, he doesn't have as much battery as Rune Cruiser, and Rune Cruiser's just going to sit here now and use his DRS. Why is he slowing down early? He's lifting quite early there, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, Tunaman's actually in a really good position here. P4 on reasonably fresh mediums. The guys ahead, although they're all very quick, 12-lap hards, they will really start to be feeling the pain soon. Because I did say they pitted quite early under that safety car for these hards. They will be an absolute nightmare at the very end of this race. So Tunaman might still actually win this, Chief.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Sam Aim is saying AR stayed out. No, so he thinks it's a bad call from our gamer to stay out on these old hards. We are going to find out. Run Cruiser right on the back of Tenari, not able to get the move done this lap. And Tenari gets a 3-second time penalty. That's a very unusual place to get a penalty.
Mm-hmm. That's huge. I mean, I did see him cutting the chicane quite a few times, so I thought it was coming. But yeah, that could be huge for the end of this race if no one else gets pants.
Yeah, and Run Cruiser's rubbing his hands because he definitely is getting to the end of the race on these hards. And he could potentially win, you know, depending on what these guys ahead do and how their tires last. If they decide to stay out, Iceland does indeed stay out, so he's committed to this strategy. He's got 9 laps to do on these hards, 22 laps on hards. Is that possible?
Man, it's gonna be so difficult for them. Oh, look, if anyone can, Ice can, but it's gonna be so difficult for them. Plus, you've got Tunaman and Rune Cruiser, you know, especially Tuna on those reasonably fresh mediums. It is gonna be tough call. But JC, the highest running soft runner, is making his way up the grid here, Chief. You can see that they have got so much overspeed on these softs. And up next is a very fresh hard runner off Smelto. And he's reading him in. Smelto, who's that off wide? That's Grazi. Who's that? That's Grazi. Grazi just really struggling for a grip this track. But now Gurla is on the back here, Chief, off Grazi Joss, and he's going to have a very nice run. Grazi Joss has got the DRS as well, so he'll be able to defend against this. Oh, look at this! Gurla is literally pushing him. He was literally pushing him there. And someone's going to go for a send here. Oh, they don't. Oh, yes, there's contact!
No.
Oh, indeed, Grazi Joss
hits
Jesse! I seen that coming. He's been struggling with his braking and his traction. And Grazi Joss does cost Jesse 1 place.
Yep, and Girl again 2 out of that incident. He was able to avoid that by taking a wider line out of that last corner, and he's up to P10 into the points for Gurla.
Yeah, I know what it feels to be on fresh softs faster and still getting taken out.
Getting flashbacks, Bob.
Give me nightmares.
Medic.
But yeah, Meep says 23 laps. I believe he's saying 23 laps is possible.
Oh.
So as Luke sets the fastest lap. So according to Meeps, it's possible. 68% wear. That sounds about right.
Oh, and Nikai has got a good run here on Vlad Red. Is he going to go for the move down the inside into the S's? He's out of ERS. His battery light is flashing, but he commits to that move. Gets P6, but he is going to come under a big threat now from Vlad Red into this DRS zone. Although
I love the fact that you call him Nikai.
Nikai, I know. I imagine like that translates to night cow, like an actual mooing cow, but actually I've been told that it's another way of saying Nico. Ooh, Vlad Red does get him. Oh my god, he was like 9/10 behind him there, heading onto that straight, and almost got alongside by the end of it. But Nico does keep that position, and yeah, I'll continue calling him Nico. Unfortunately, it's
Meep
stuck.
says it's like Nai Cook. Nice cook.
No, I'm not.
Nice.
He's trying to bait you, bro.
You know, I love. Get that good Toyota. Oh, Ginaman's going for the move on Christian onto the final corner, and he gets the move done on the. Oh, hang on a minute, Christian's losing 2 places here. He's lost Ginaman and Ruin Cruiser. It was to be expected. This charge that we were saying was coming. These guys on these fresh runs, they are lurking, and up next will be our gamer. Although he's got, what, 9 seconds to gain on not that fresh mediums anymore. That might be quite a tall order.
I tell you what, Run Cruiser is looking sharp. I mean, he saw blood in the water. He knew Tenari's going to go for the move, and he just followed him so tightly behind and was able to get that move done as well. So Run Cruiser showing great racecraft here today. He's up to P4.
Yeah, and just also looks he's definitely going to get Naiku here on the thing. I also noticed Meepo saying that I got baited. Did I say something bad in finish? Maybe I did. That Luke passes Naiku, or whatever. It's Jim.
Jim.
I don't know. Jim. That's this to go to. Just you can't pronounce your name. Jim. There you go. Call him Jim.
Let's go, Jim.
But Ruin Cruiser 6/10 behind. Junoman wasn't able to get the move done on that DRS. He will be able to squeeze up here. 7/10 on the DRS. Excuse me. It will not be enough, I don't think, to get the move here on Junoman. No, he definitely won't. He'll be able to squeeze up. Don't send it, Ruin. Don't send it. Good man. He knows not to do that.
Nikai may be going for a move here. He's preferred to go for the outside line. So look with the inside line. Nikai go for the switchback. We've seen this before from Nikai, and he's going to get DRS. So I think he's going to get this moved on by turn 1. Let's have a look and see. He's going to go for the outside line again. It is very hard to overtake it. I prefer the inside line for this one. Switchback does work though if you can line them up. But yeah, it's very hard to follow someone through there. It's definitely tricky to go side by side through that section. So yeah, Luke holds on to the P6 for now.
It was good defense from Luke as well. He positioned his car perfectly. He really had the advantage throughout that whole section, and he held it well. And Naiku tried, but of course, a bit of a slippery exit there for Luke, who's this Tunaman does get passed by Ruin Cruiser before the DRS.
Look how much time he lost there. He had an issue there on the straight. Run Cruiser weaving up ahead, so he's trying to communicate something. I don't know if that was frustration or just thank you for going slow on a straight.
I'm not sure what that was. It might have been. It definitely was. Usually a weave is a thank you. Usually if someone weaves behind you, it means they're angry. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and Tenari out of DRS by this final straight. That is a bit insane.
Yep. Nikiti's saying here, now Kai Brown Kai. No, that's not right. It's now Kai Brown. No. What is it? How do we say it again?
How now?
That's what it is. It's the correct way to be saying it would be how now brown cow. But the way we say it, Chief, is you go ahead.
Tenari's in the pits.
Tenari's in the pits. 5 seconds!
He retires. What is that about? Has he had front wing damage? There's something happened? We'll have to see if we can get a word with him after the race. So he is out. That moves Christian up to... well, he was P4. Luke is P5 now. And Nikai is P6.
Yep. Nikai's done a really, really good job here as a tier 3 driver. I'm really impressed, man. Like he's really shown that he is capable of mixing it with these guys.
Yep, and
As I'm surprised, I was going to say, Chief, I'm surprised these soft runners are not gaining as much. Like, you can gain so much time on these softs. And Luke Vessels and Leps are still fighting. And I knew this would happen. I called it because they've got pretty similar battery.
Yep, Lepson lining up. Look here for a move. Oh, Icewind gets a penalty. That's 3 seconds for Ice. He's 3.6 in the lead. Our gamer is going to see that, and that's what's going to motivate him even further. Is a win on the cards for our gamer today. I think he won the last race, if I remember correctly. I think he came out on tops in that one. So we're Run Cruiser in P3. He's going to see that as well. That will spur him on, but 8.1 seconds behind our gamer might be a bit too much from Run Cruiser, but of course Run Cruiser on these fresher hards. So, and Lepson struggling big time for the chicane here. He did get past Luke Wessels there, but that little wiggle on the exit is not going to help him much as Luke Wessels hunts him down in the DRS zone.
Yeah, Nykai still, still battling here with Luke. This is going to continue right to the very end, of course. Luke's going to catch Christian. Well, he is catching Christian. He's going to get the DRS, so Nykai might actually not get another chance at Luke now because Luke's going to get the DRS on Christian. But man, this is just like, what kind of motivation, how much more motivation do you need, Chief, to win Tier 2 than watching Ice win with a 3-second time penalty and you're 2/10 away from 3 seconds?
Yeah.
Our gamer has got a fantastic opportunity here to snatch victory from the jaws of Icewind here with only a few laps to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors at play here. These guys, the front two guys, are on these old hards. Run Cruiser on relatively fresher, like 10-lap old hards. The gap has maintained though for about 8.5 from P2 to P3. So unless these hards drop off massively at the last few laps, I think Run Cruiser is going to struggle to close that gap up. But yeah, our gamer, that gap is up to 3.6 from Icewind. So Icewind has got to hurry up. Icewind, I think one of his weaknesses is these penalties. He tries to use all the track, and sometimes, these margins for error are quite small. As Christian is getting passed by Luke GDI, you called it. He got that DRS range, and now has made the move.
But the thing is, Icewind does have a little trump card up his sleeve, Chief, and I think that's why you're seeing it in this kind of these sectors that he's extending, and then in DRS he's losing. Yeah, because he does generally, now this is just generally, he does generally run a higher downforce setup than most people, which as we get into the late stages of these worn tyres will benefit him potentially more than the guys on a much more slippier kind of setup. And so you can see here that our gamer was 3.1 behind, he's now 3.7. You'll see that drop here in this DRS strip, but it'll extend again as they go through the chicane. So I think Icewind's got this pretty good.
And Nykai is going for a move on Christian. Christian on 19-lap old hards, exactly the same as Icewind and our gamer. So this may be indicating that those hards are falling off that cliff, as we said. It's lap 26, so there's 3 laps left after this one. And that gap up front, 3.3 from P1 to P2. It might be interesting as well. It's just to check our gamer's warnings situation.
Yeah, I'll check.
Icewind, of course, got that penalty. Can't afford 2 more, but not 3 more, or he will get 6 seconds, and that will be game over for him on any chance of the win today. But Run Cruiser, the gap is maintaining at 8.4, 8.5 to P2. And our gamer tantalizingly close. Gains again on the straight. 3.2 is the gap, but we'll probably see that increase through this more technical section of Sector 1.
So I can tell you that our gamer has 1 warning.
Okay, that's pretty big. That gives him a lot of room for error. 3.2 is the gap. 3.3.
Luke has also squeezed up into the just squeezed up to the DRS of Rune Cruiser. So P3 is definitely on the show here for Luke. Rune Cruiser will of course fight that as best he can, but it's gonna be almost, resistance is futile at this stage.
We have a Ferrari. Is that off? There's a Ferrari off, I think. Is it Luke? No, it's not Luke. Who's that? Oh, Lepson has came off in Sector 1, yeah. So he's struggling on those old softs. But yeah, let's go up front. Gap increased again, 3.6. So a bit of breathing space for Icewind. But yeah, I think these hards are they're going to be very, very difficult to drive. I'm going to ride on board with Icewind to see how difficult they are to drive through Sector 1, which is one of the sections where you would mostly be relying on the grip off those tires.
Ruin Cruiser is lining up here, Luke, to get a move done on him, and he is going to pass him pretty straightforwardly here. I think these guys, Chief, are going to fight like this all the way to the finish. So we'll keep a wee eye on that too. One of these guys is going to definitely lose their position on this final DRS zone. So we'll see what happens. But just put yourself in the shoes of Icewind, Chief. I have ran the hards to like lap 18, and they are miserable. He has to go this lap and another one on the 21, 22, what's it, 23 or so laps. This must be so painful for Ice.
I think the glimmer of hope for Ice is the guy that, you know, he's battling here for the win of the race is on the same tire as him, so he at least has that in the back of his head that he can, you know, gain a little bit of hope from, because you definitely need a bit of hope in these dark times. Your 21 lap old hards can be a bit bleak, but Lepson with a time penalty, and Lepson is out. He's retired from the session in the pits. Unfortunate to see, but Luke is going to go for a move on Run Cruiser. He's going to go around the outside, so this isn't ideal for Run Cruiser. Doesn't need this at this late stage of the race. He is a championship leader. He can't afford to lose any more points, but Luke is looking very strong on these 10 lap old mediums, and he's got Naiko right behind as well, waiting for his turn on Run Cruiser. And Icewind about to hit the last corner and get onto the start finish straight, and this is going to be the last lap of the race, so he's 5 tenths to play with. So our gamer's going to have the lap of his life, but I think it might be a bit of too much of an ask from him to close up.
Yeah, and the thing is, our gamer has no battery at all either to get an advantage on him. Like, he's got pretty much the same as Ice. Ice just giving it everything. Understandably, you're just going to deploy everything you've got. But then our gamer doesn't have anything as well. But this battle, Chief, as well, Luke and Ruin Cruiser, this is going to the wire. We're going to yellow off, we've got a blue car, it's Dice, I think, again. But yeah, this battle for Ruin Cruiser and Luke, Chief, is going right to the wire. The thing is now, if Luke passes him here on this DRS, Ruin will get him on the return. So does Luke play it smart? Open the DRS, don't use your battery. That's what I would do. I would open the DRS but not use battery and stay behind. That's the way I would do it. And then deploy everything on the final. But no, Luke's not going to do that. Luke's going for the move. He has sent his stall out on full attack here. He's going for this. They're running up on board with Ice. Ice is navigating this second last corner. Run down to, back with Ruin Cruiser, Chief. I think Luke, sorry, excuse me, I needed to take a breath there. I think Luke should have waited. But we'll see. Let's see what all I know. I think he should have waited and then deployed everything here to get this run. This is it. Luke still has a wee bit of battery though, and I think it's just enough. Moving up front, Chief. Icewind.
Yeah,
does
Icewind.
Indeed.
Yeah, he's going to cross the line here, and he's done it. He's 3.3, he's 3 tenths in the lead, crosses the line and wins the race. Our gamer P2.
Yeah.
Oh, almost hit the wall there. Oh, what happened?
Hits the back of Ruin Cruiser, and that just gives that pushes. Sorry, Nike hits the back of Luke. That pushes Luke really deep, and that lets Ruin Cruiser pass him on just before the line. That will be. Oh, Luke will be furious with the Alpine.
Oh, we missed that. Yeah, it was right on board with Icewind there as he crossed the line. But yeah, oh my word, what a race!
That was a really good race. Just showing these. That's the thing I really love about this year's game, Chief, is that the tire strats can really change a game or really change your race.
Yeah, and there was a lot of different strategies at play there as Luke Wessels just about gets around that last corner and is going to cross the start finish line. Grassy Joe's the last driver to finish this race off as Dice has been lapped. Dice finished the race. Is that a good thing, or?
This is definitely a good thing. This is progress in the world of Dice. This is the man that has left either DNF'd or retired every single race so far, and now here we go. His first race of the season completed. This is progress. This is what we like to see.
Incredible. I didn't think he had it in him.
I never thought I'd live to see the day, Chief.
But I kind of feel bad. He's ruined his perfect DNF strat. Meepo pointing out Naiku got pushed to the curb, so he was in VC with Naiku, I think, and had a bit of insight into what happened there. But Icewind is the winner of today. It's great to see. I had a solid qualifying performance. Started P2, ends the race in P1, and I have to say, he navigated his strategy choices there quite nicely. There was times where I was starting to doubt his strategy, and nope, the wise man prevails.
Yeah, I was on board with that battle, and maybe I misread it, but it looked like that uh, Luke was taking the corner normally. Rune Cruiser was going for an attack, and then Luke got hit from the rear. Well, kind of bumped from the rear. It looked like it was the Alpine, which kind of sent him off, in deep, which let Rune Cruiser slip past. But I might have misseen that, so we'll see what happens afterwards. But yeah, we need to get, as Kitty says here in chat, interview with Iceman. We got to get Mr. Icewind in.
100%, yeah.
Mr. Icewind Dale. Did you know that, Chief? He called himself after that game Icewind, or that book, or whatever it is, Icewind Dale. I
Yeah.
didn't know that until
Yeah.
Meepo's posted it out.
Yeah, I read that chat, yeah, but I'm just going to have a look at the standings here. Icewind P1, Argamer P2, Run Cruiser P3, leading the championship. That should, I think he had a healthy lead in the championship, so it should still be leading that championship. I just realized Icewind's stepped down. He's now reserve now, so he won't actually get featured in those standings for Tier 2, but who knows, might come back to that full-time seat. Naiko P5. Second highest reserve in the race. P6 is Christian. Vlad Red P7. Smelto P8. Gurla got himself up to P9. And JC, after pretty eventful race, P10. So does get himself a point paying position.
A great result for Naiku. I mean, from Tier 3, he just recently stepped up to a full-time seat in Tier 3, and here he is, P5 in Tier 2. As we often say, it's the assisted version of the aliens in Tier 1, so to get P5 is a fantastic result for Naiku. Good job, man.
Indeed, and let's head over to the interview booth. Let's see who we got in there. I think there's one man that we're dying to speak to, and he is available, so let's bring him in. And we'll start off by saying congratulations, Icewind. You won the Tier 2 Miami race. I mean, talking to you leading up to this race, you didn't seem confident that you didn't say you were going to win the race, that's for sure. But how was it out there today? I mean, it seemed like, even though with the safety car and stuff, it seemed hard to decide what strat would be best, but it looked like you did what you needed to do, even with that 3-second penalty, so...
Yeah. First of all, let me start by saying that I think that it is the first ever Tier 2 race that I win. I've never ever won, and only the second SLR win ever for me. So on this track, very unexpected. But then again, as I said to Makander just a few minutes ago, we were talking there. I definitely did practice for this race, so I've done a lot of quali runs, probably more than in ages, and I managed to do my PB in quali, so very happy with that, first of all. And I was confident with my race pace because I'm certain that I was running much more wing than anybody else in that race once again. But and definitely with the fresh tires, that I think paid dividends for me today to be able to keep the others at bay and make those aggressive overtakes. I was a little bit worried at the end there with had to make it exciting with that one penalty, and if our AR gamer would have some battery left or whatever, but then Makander told me that he's about the same as me. So
yeah, I was wondering about that. I mean, what was the pressure like, or because I was saying on stream, that can be quite torturous situation to be in. The guy's right behind you. You're thinking, "Oh, I got a penalty. It's all going wrong," but you stayed strong and you managed to maintain that gap. So, what was going on in your head at that point in the final phase of the race?
really not that much, just sort of trying to nail the braking points, which I think are sort of tricky with the worn tires at the end there. So really just focusing on those difficult braking zones like final corner, turn 1, and then the braking at the end of the long straight there. So yeah, just sort of making sure that I at least don't get another penalty or spin in some weird place. There was a couple of close calls, but yeah, made it. So definitely did not expect to win this race.
I know. I was saying at the end of the race there, you actually step down from your full-time seat to reserve and then go on to win Tier 2, so that must feel awesome.
Oh. It's sure. Not really sure what to think about it all, but yeah, I did tell both of you, Lexi and Chief, that I'm gonna go in with high wings.
Yeah.
I did. It worked for me, and I'm just happy with it. I was my race pace will be fine, so.
Yeah, we kind of saw that, the gap was decreasing when, you guys were hitting the straights, but whenever it got to those technical twisty sections, that's where you really gained back the time there, and it looked like you had it relatively under control for the most part. And
yeah, there one that's where I gained time. Was struggling through the Mickey Mouse section, what they call the like the slow chicane, and then the left-hander to the back straight. Those were like the tricky points, but yeah, managed to bring it home. So of course, happy with that.
There was one other moment in the race I wanted to talk about. It was the very start of the race, the run down to turn one. It looked like you had a big moment heading into turn one. But you were able to get control of the car again and not lose too much time. So I think that was a vital point in the race where it could have went a completely different way, but thankfully didn't.
Yeah, I just locked the rears a little bit into turn one. Just wanted to make sure that I brake late enough so nobody can send it on me in turn one. But yeah, after that I was like, especially after that very first sector one, I knew that Christian probably wouldn't really be a threat to me because he was struggling quite hard with those. And I was kind of expecting that to happen to a lot of people who run lesser wings. It works in quali, but I think you pay in the race with that. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, it's a perfect race for you, man. Well, apart from the penalty. I mean,
yeah.
You've got Bob and me commentating the race. I was really wary about cursing you because I was like singing your praises, and then I was like, "Oh dear, he's gonna die now." But
yeah, it was definitely tight there at the end because like the gap with AR Gamer was hovering between that 3 and 3.7 or something all the way, and I couldn't really pull out there mainly because I was just messing up the chicane most laps, and yeah, but yeah, just enough today. I'm happy with that.
Okay, well, Bob, any further thoughts or questions for Icewind?
No, just well, firstly, congratulate the Mr. Ice. As we said, and if anyone can, Ice can. And I was saying that I know that you probably do run a higher wing setup, which is probably benefiting you quite a lot at the end there because those tires were quite worn in the tricky section. I was saying that these guys on the more kind of slipstream, kind of faster setups would be struggling at this stage. But the only thing I wanted to question was, you were saying that you equaled your PB in quali, but did you not do a 26.4 in a practice session? Remember, you were getting angry, like, how was that a 26.4?
No, it was I think it was a 26.7 that I did, but I'm pretty sure this was my PB.
No, sorry, you're right. It was a 26.671 you did. So you're probably you equaled your PB. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that was my PB at least, but yeah, very of course happy with that.
Yeah, man, you can't ask any better than that. You equaled your personal best in quality, and you win the race. So it's like maximum result for you, man. Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you can definitely be proud of that one. There's nothing to discredit that one. You did everything. And you didn't do it from P1 either. You did have to navigate your way through that and through some very tough strategy calls as well. With that safety car.
It was kind of a no-brainer to go hard at that point at the first safety car, but then there was that VSC. I was really tempted to go mediums at that point, but I think good thing that I didn't. So there was no way that I could back up where I was after that. So yeah, I think pretty much the right calls today.
Excellent, good stuff. Right, well, finally, we're going to say congratulations once again, but we're going to throw you out now,
Yep.
um, as we want to speak to our gamer. But yep, GG man, and enjoy that one.
Yep. See ya.
So yeah, we'll bring in our gamer. Our gamer finished P2 in that race. Wasn't looking the best for you at certain points of that race, but you just came through. It seemed like you made the right strategy calls, which is, I know in the past has been a bit of a weakness. But did you have a crew chief today, kind of guiding you through that, or was that all your own doing?
No, it's just my big brain strategies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think before even the race started, I was conflicted between the medium hard or hard medium. But I just bet on an early safety car, and I just said to myself, if there's SC any lap at all, like literally any lap, I would bet for hards. So yeah, I just came, I think, lap 6, and I think I also double stacked with Christian, but I only lost one position, I think, to that. It was fine
Oh,
in the
okay,
end.
we missed that. But I wanted to ask as well, we're just speaking to Ice one there, and he did say he was tempted to pit under that VSC. Was that going through your
I
mind as
wish.
well?
Oh, I wish he put it. No, I think it's no use. Like, I don't. Sorry, I don't think I have the pace to like come back and fight and stuff. So like my decision was like I already gambled on this in a safety car and I won big, and Tunari and Ron Cruiser is like million miles behind me. So if they catch me, it's fine. But I will just do my race. But yeah, I wish I would put it under the AVC because I want to win this race.
Yeah, the final phase of the race was nail biting. You were 3.5 seconds away. He had that 3 second penalty. So, like, what was going through your mind? Were you pushing as hard as you can, or were you trying to keep it with, reasonably within the limits? Because we saw you had one warning as well, so you did have a bit of room for error. But yeah, what was going through your mind at the final phase of the race?
Yeah, I don't know how I think I got the warning, got the chicane because like we were like very close to each other, but I don't think there is any way to cut any track and get like gain massive time. But I don't know, like at the end a few laps. Well, let's just talk about my setup compared to Icewind. Icewind had a higher downforce setup, and I had lower downforce, so I would lose at sector 1 compared to him like a lot, and I would gain it in the straights. And I think my chicane was pretty good by the end laps, so I would not really lose anything there. So that was a plus for me. But my rears were just not good. Like I had a 10% difference between the front and the rears, so yeah, I can really push as hard, especially at the last corner, where I think I lose a tenth compared to Icewind every lap. But yeah, it was like ping pong between me and Icewind, just 3.5, 3.3. It was also I think 2.9 at 1 second at one lap. But yeah, I think he had the pace on me, so I was just lucky to be there, to be honest.
Yeah, good job from you. And just talk about your qualifying as well. It looked like, we've seen you in practice, putting in some solid laps, but it didn't come together today. What was going on there?
Oh my god! Do you see my first lap at 180? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like 180. I think it was like felt like a 27 mid, but I don't know how it came out to 28-0. But I think I pushed that much. I was really on the limit, so I had no warm up before the race, so I was just off like the whole qualifying, and I think qualified P7. So I was just you know hopeful I would just stick behind them and gain positions by luck in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough spot, isn't it, when you're kind of like right in the midfield, everybody's fighting, everybody's using all their ERS trying to get that move on you, and it's hard to know what to do. But you got through that phase of the race quite nicely,
Yeah.
made the right strategy call, and ended up P2 in the end. So no penalties as well, 18 points on the table, and the championship leader, Run Cruiser, finishing behind you. So you do gain some points over him. Um, so yeah, I just want to talk about a little bit about the championship then. So you've got quite a way to go to Run Cruiser. He came into this race with 23-point lead over Equals, who didn't race today. So actually, you're gonna move up to P2, a little bit closer to Run Cruiser, but of course he will still have a fairly healthy gap. How are you feeling going into these last races? I mean, it's not out of the question that you could actually pull off the all win here on the in terms of the championship.
Yeah. The first few races haven't been nice to me at all. I just had incidents and unfortunate. I don't think any was my fault. I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, so I just lost like so many points. I think I would be P1 in now. I think Tipsy or someone told me that. I was really aware of it. I was just having fun in the championship. I don't think I had a chance before the start of the season, so I was just chilling. But after I won Qatar, I was just, something switched on in me, and I started to believe there's a chance I could win actually the championship. So yeah, that was the mindset coming into this race, because my goal was just be ahead of Ron Cruiser. I had so many moments, like beginning of the race, like the first few laps, I was just chill. Like if they were going 3 wide ahead of me, I was just brake earlier, chill and let them fight. And I almost was squeezed by Christian and Nico at one point, but I survived. Yeah, so my goal was just survive, and because if there's a championship there, you need to survive. You need to be getting the points instead of fighting for every corner, every place, and look at the long term, at the last few laps where you can actually gain the points. So yeah, that was my mindset in the race, and I think it's benefited me a lot. And I think I would be closer to Rune Cruiser because if I haven't released their penalties for Qatar, I think so. Rune Cruiser would lose some points, maybe. I hope. So yeah, I think I would be a little closer to Rune Cruiser, and I would fight every race, like Spa, Zandvoort. I'd fight until the end, and hopefully I win. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's going to be great for the viewers. Obviously, a close championship finale is what we want. So get it done, bro. Get practicing Spa, which is next week. Or maybe take a break. It might be more healthy to take a break and yeah, start practicing in a day or two. But yeah, Argamer, solid performance from you. Very happy to see that P2 for you in the end. So GG on that one, and we'll speak to you soon, bro.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, bye. Final interview. We've got Nico, who we can ask how to say his name, but he finished P5. We know him best as a Tier 3 full-time driver, but he stepped up today into Tier 2, and he represented Tier 3 quite nicely. We're actually saying you were very fast, and you should probably move up to Tier 2. But
I'm not sure about that because, well, I drove good in Miami. I don't know. It's one of my worst tracks, so we will see.
yeah, well, let's talk about your race today. I mean, you had a lot of battles out there. I can't remember them all. But you qualified P9, which if I look correctly, at that time that you did in quali, probably would have been pole yesterday.
Yes, it would be, yes.
Oh, okay. Actually, first I want to ask you, how do you say your name? Because I think I
Uh,
butchered it all stream long.
well, in Finnish, because I'm Finnish, we say Naiko.
Naiko, Naiko.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I just called you a cow all race long.
Well,
Naiko. So I apologize for that. But yeah,
no worries.
getting back to the race, it looked like a real fun one for you out there today, especially that last phase of the race. Just tell us about that incident into the final corner, though. What happened there?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. I used all my ears on the straight. I tried to overtake both of them, but who was it? Rune Cruiser, I think. So we were side to side on the braking zone or on the braking, and I don't know. He put me in the wall, so like I hit the wall and we touched tires and so that's why I missed the braking point and I hit Luke a bit, and then we went side to side with Luke on the last corner on the left. and then he put me on the curb that I almost lost the car and lost all the speed, so that's why I didn't overtake anybody there.
Okay. And that, that safety car as well. What was your kind of thoughts whenever you saw that safety car come out? Was that a good
Well,
thing for you, or didn't?
well, I I was wondering if the hards will go like to the end, but they didn't. They were horrible feeling like in the middle of the race. But thankfully the vertical safety car came that I could get the mediums, and I even like wait, was it in the safety car that I gained a position? I'm not sure, but then I took the medium set and there were so many people that came to the pit, so I think it was a good decision. So I think my strategy was pretty good.
Yeah. And as I say, you finished P3 and Tier 3 yesterday, and then a solid performance today. So I take it you like Miami then, or at least you do now that
Uh,
you've
I hate that it's so slippery,
yeah.
but it's nice one to race in. In time trial it's horrible, but in the race it's pretty good actually.
Yeah. Well, we saw some pretty good battles from you today, and we'll hopefully see you in Tier 2 as reserve again in the future, and yeah, Spa next week. So hopefully you're more than welcome to join us, and hopefully you do.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us in the commentators booth. We're gonna wrap it up now. So we will speak to
Yeah,
you soon, I'm sure, and congrats again on that P5.
yeah, thank you.
Right, Bob, that's
So,
it. We are done. I just wanted to say, what did I want to say there? I did want to say something that's completely escaped me now, which is going to be bad. This could be
well,
awkward.
while you're trying to remember it, that guy, is he like, who I was going to ask, is he related to Meepo? Because he just sounds like his brother.
I thought he sounded like Mercy Maku.
So,
Yeah,
is
but
that's
yeah,
okay.
the accent is great. Like, I like it.
But can you remember what you were going to say?
Absolutely no. I can't remember anything.
I'll
Um,
send this bit.
Yeah, I mean we've got tier one tomorrow, the same time, 1930 CST. Just want to say thanks to everybody for watching, and obviously hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Yeah, but tier one tomorrow is going to be Lepson and Babalos rocking the mic, so I'm very much looking forward to that one. It's obviously the fastest guys in SLR, and if today's anything to go by, we're in for a real treat tomorrow at Miami. And oh, one thing I want to point out, have you noticed the lack of rain in races this season?
Well, hopefully it stays like that because I freaking hate the wet races. They're just a nightmare.
Yeah, it's just I just noticed that. Like I think there's been a couple of races where it's maybe one or two where there's been rain at the end or maybe in quali or something, but we haven't had a full wet race. And yeah, I'm with you. I don't want a full wet race. Maybe I was hopeful for inters yesterday, like a light rain race. That would be kind of interesting. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up for now. The stream's gone on long enough. We've had a great race today. Icewind, solid. Yes, sorry, I just remembered. It's really important. Driver of the day, Bob. I know who I want to select, but I'll let you lead with your suggestion.
Okay, so I reckon that between there's your guys between one of two people. You want to pick either Icewind or Naiku, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's tricky because I really want to give it the ice because he just was just phenomenal today. I mean, banging in that pole lap, equaling his best, holding off Tuna Man and Christian and fighting those guys and sticking on the hards and then running the hards to that length of time, knowing that you've got a time penalty and it's so nip and tuck with our gamer that's really worth driver of the day. But then equally, Naiku, I mean, he totally outdrove himself today. Like, I mean, we don't expect guys in the tier 3 ranks to be competing to that high up in tier 2, and he just done a fantastic job. It's a tricky one because I think he was getting involved in some things that he shouldn't really have been getting involved in. There was a wee bit argy-bargy, nothing too major, but I don't know. I would really kind of. It's a tough, difficult one between Naiku and Ice, but I think just Ice was just so solid today, given all the circumstances. I would kind of lean more to Ice. That's my viewpoint.
Yeah, I think we have to give it to Ice, and we get that 3 second penalty as well, which usually goes against you whenever I'm considering driver of the day. But the fact that he was able to win with that penalty and maintain that gap at the end, obviously our gamer gets a big shout out for his performance. He started in the mid pack and got himself up to P2. But yeah, I think we're going to go with Icewind for that one. So congrats to him for that. So a very solid race from him all together. And yeah, I think we'll end it there, Bob. And pleasure doing the comms with you once again. And we'll be back soon enough. But yeah, Tier 1 tomorrow. Tune in for that one. Thanks again for watching, and we will speak to you soon. Bye now.